Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be sharing another very special family recipe with you all. And this one is for candied yams, but not the candied yams you may be thinking of. They're made with marshmallow. This one's actually made with pineapple. And pineapple is not my favorite, but in this dish, it is so good. My mom taught me this recipe. She'd always make these for Thanksgiving. Now, keep in mind, nothing was written down for this recipe, so I've had to make it a few times. My mom's been passed away for some years. And so I had to try to recreate this recipe to make it like she did. She went by taste, by sight, but none of this was ever written down. But I am in the description box going to put the ingredients, the measurements, and the directions. So I'm very honored to share this very special family recipe with you all. Let's go make some candied yams. And here are the ingredients for the yams. I'm going to be using white yams, white sweet potato, because that's what my mom always used. You'll also see garnet or red yams in the store, but that's what she would use. And then 1 stick of butter, 20 ounces of crushed pineapple, some cinnamon, and then some dark brown sugar. I'm using dark just to stay true to the original way that my mom would make it. And I just wanted to show you here the different yams. So I'm at the grocery store. And you can see here on the left is the red garnet yam and the white yam. And I use white yams for this recipe. And I put some water on to boil so I can cook the yams. Just enough water to cover the yams. Once it gets boiling, I will be adding the yams to that. You can see here that the water is coming to a boil, so time to add in the yams. And I'm just adding in the yams. I have 3 in here. I may not use all 3, but we're gonna cook these until they're soft, till you can pierce them with a fork, and then we'll let them cool for a bit and peel them. But these are gonna take a while to cook. These have been cooking for about 45 minutes. The skin's starting to peel a bit, but they're still pretty hard, so they're gonna need to cook for a little bit longer. I rotate them about every 15 to 20 minutes or so, and cook for a little bit longer. These have been cooking for 1 hour, and you can see here that the skin on this one is starting to come apart. So this one, and if I also poke it with a fork, it's pretty soft. So this one here is done, and the others here, the other 2 are still going to need to cook a little bit longer, but I'm going to take this one out. And I'm going to let the one I took out cool, but you can see just how easily the skin is peeling off of that. And I'll show you in a little bit how I peel them. So one's done and 2 more still cooking. You can see here that the skin on this one is starting to split, and it's also pretty soft. I did poke it with a fork, so I'm going to take this one out, and it's going to join this one. Got 1 more to go. This one still needs to cook for longer, which is not unusual because they're different sizes, so this larger one's going to take a bit longer. And the last yam is done. It took about 1 hour and 15 minutes for the longest one to be done. And remember, you're still going to also put these in the oven, so they are going to still have more time to cook. While those are cooling so that we can peel them, let's go prepare the rest of the dish. I'm going to take 20 ounces of crushed pineapple and put it in a lasagna dish. Spread this around a bit, and we're going to melt some butter next. I've got 1 cube of butter here, and I'm going to melt that next. The butter is all melted, and I'm going to now add that to that crushed pineapple, and I like to use a whisk to mix that up and get the pineapple and butter all mixed up together. And now I'm going to add 1 cup of dark brown sugar. This was firmly packed into that cup, so a firmly packed cup of brown sugar, and mix that all up with the pineapple and the melted butter that's in there. You may come across some clumps of brown sugar in your mixture, and what I'll do is if I can't break them up, then I will take out that clump of brown sugar, because you don't want like hard clumps of brown sugar in the mixture. So just simply take it out and discard that if you cannot break that up. And next I am going to add 1/4 teaspoon of ground cinnamon. And once you add this and start to mix it, you'll really see the color start to deepen into that nice caramely color. And now it's time to peel the yam. So my mom would always use a clean dishcloth, and because this is still kind of warm, and take a butter knife. And it's going to be very easy to just simply go along here and peel the yams. So it's easy to get up underneath that skin and peel. So that's what you're going to do to all three of these yams here. And if you have a few brown specks on it, that's okay, but that one is pretty much all peeled. I'll take this one just right under the skin. You can see how easy that is. You don't want to use a peeler. That would be probably too rough. So I use the butter knife, and I've heard people that peel them before they boil them. My mom never wanted to do that. So again, keeping with the tradition, I'm peeling these afterwards. I think they probably hold together better when you're boiling if you don't peel them. Now it's time to cut these and get them ready to put in that pineapple mixture we made. And I'm using a butter knife again because they're so soft. So I usually cut off the ends, and then I'm going to cut it in half. Cut that in half, and then we're kind of having like yam wedges. And there's that. Same with this side, in half, in half. This is why you don't need the yams fully cooked, is because we're going to be baking them again. So you can see here, I'm just cutting those up. We may not use all this, and that's okay. I'll take some of the leftovers and put some butter and cinnamon on it. It will make for a good snack. So what I'm going to do now is take the wedges and just press them in here. I did wash my hands before doing any of this. I'm going to take a spoon and just cover some of this a little bit here. I'm going to sprinkle cinnamon over the top. I didn't mention it in the ingredients, but my mom would always put raisins on the top of the dish. They're easy enough to scoop out if you don't like them. Sometimes I do just leave them out. And I'm going to cover it with some foil. Now, if you were going to be serving this, you would then put it in the oven at 350 for about 25 minutes. Otherwise, put it in your fridge and just pull it out beforehand and cook it, bake it for 25 minutes, and it'll be good to go. Oven is preheated to 350. I've got it on the middle rack. We're gonna bake it for 25 minutes until everything's nice and bubbly. I just wanted to pop in to acknowledge and thank my mom, even though she isn't here. I'm so grateful to her for all of this amazing food that she would make, so many traditions, and how much I appreciate all that she did. And I want these recipes to still continue, and I'm still making them. And I just really want to acknowledge my mom. Like I said, she's been passed away for quite some time, but thank you, Mom. 25 minutes is up. You can see here how nice and bubbly that is. I pulled up the foil just a bit out of the oven. Pull up the foil, and I'm going to let this sit for about 5 minutes to thicken up a bit. But the key is you want it to be boiling a bit when you remove it. And the yams have been sitting for a bit, and they are ready to eat. I did want to mention that if you made this dish ahead of time, like the day before, that you might need an extra 5 minutes or so of cook time. So when my mom was alive, she loved to host Thanksgiving. And one of her philosophies was always, you do as much as you can the day before. So we'd always make the yams the day before, and then the day of Thanksgiving, it made it easy. We would just pop them into the oven and let them cook. So it made much less work on Thanksgiving Day. I'm so happy to share with you all another family recipe. Bon appetit.